T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff of Starlink 5-6. Go Starlink, go Falcon.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
At T plus 30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral, Florida at 3:31 a.m. Pacific Eastern Time. The next major milestone coming up is max Q, which is when the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of external stresses as it ascends through the Earth's atmosphere during its flight today.
MOD team pressures are nominal. Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Falcon 9 is now supersonic, meaning it is traveling faster than the speed of sound. And coming up next, we will be hearing the call out for max Q.
Max Q.
And there was the call out for max Q, which again is when the vehicle experiences its largest amount of external stresses. And we are about 1 minute away from a series of events, being MECO, stage separation, SCS-1, and then fairing separation. MECO stands for main engine cutoff, which is when all 9 Merlin engines will shut down in preparation for stage separation. And during stage separation, the first and second stages will separate from each other. The first stage will begin its journey back to Earth, while the second stage will light its Merlin vacuum engine to propel our Starlink satellites to their planned orbits. Let's keep an eye out for these events happening in pretty quick succession. And you can expect those to start in about 20 seconds.
MECO.
Stage separation confirmed.
And back ignition.
And as you just saw and heard over the nets, we had successful MECO, stage sep, and SCS-1. We're now coming up on fairing separation from the second stage, just a few seconds.
Fairing separation confirmed.
Fairing separation has been confirmed. We will be attempting to recover both fairing halves using our recovery vessel, Bob. Both of the fairing halves that supported today's mission are flight proven, with one half flying for its 8th time and the other half flying for its 9th time. Both the first and second stages are following nominal trajectories. And currently, the first stage is on its way back to Earth towards our drone ship, a shortfall of gravitas. And our MVAC engine, as you can see on your screen, is attached to our second stage and continuing its burn, which will last around another 4 minutes. And although we don't have views of the first stage right now, the vehicle is still healthy and successfully making its way back to our landing site.
Acquisition of signal, Bermuda.
And as a reminder, Starlink is a satellite internet constellation designed and manufactured by SpaceX to provide high-speed, low-latency internet to people living in remote and rural locations all around the globe. And as an update for our first stage, it is still performing nominally and still making its way back to our landing site. And a successful return of this
Both
booster.
vehicles on a nominal trajectory.
A successful return of this booster, again, will mark SpaceX's 189th landing to date. And as I mentioned earlier, today's Starlink mission marks SpaceX's 228th mission overall and the 29th mission just this year. And coming up next in this mission is entry burn on the first stage, which is the first of 2 burns it will go through in preparation for landing. And we can expect that entry burn to begin at T+6 minutes.
Stage 1 FTS has safed.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
And there's the call out for Stage 1 entry burn. And Stage 1, which we also call the booster, has ignited engines numbers 1, 5, and 9 to slow it down for atmospheric re-entry. And now we finally have first stage views, and it's currently making its way back to our landing site.
Stage 1 entry burn shut down.
Stage 2 FTS has safed.
You just heard the call out. The entry burn on the first stage has completed. And coming up next is our landing burn on the first stage, which will be the second and final burn in preparation for landing. And Stage 1 has one more burn left to land on our drone ship, a shortfall of gravitas. Meanwhile, our second stage is still continuing its first burn and performing nominally.
Both vehicles on a nominal trajectory.
We can expect our landing burn to begin around T+8 minutes.
Stage 1 transonic.
And once that burn begins, it's going to last around 20 seconds.
Stage 1 landing burn.
And there's confirmation that the Stage 1 landing burn has started in preparation for touchdown on our drone ship, a shortfall of gravitas. We can now see our drone
Stage
ship.
1 landing light deploy. Stage 1 landing is confirmed.
And this Falcon 9 first stage has now successfully launched and landed for the 7th time. We are now coming up on second engine cutoff.
Expected loss of signal, Cape. And back shutdown.
And there you heard the call out. We were waiting for SECO 1 and
Nominal orbit insertion.
we now have been able to confirm both SECO 1 and nominal orbital insertion and confirmation of a good orbit for our 56 Starlink satellites. Today's landing marks our 189th overall landing of an orbital class rocket, including Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy missions. With confirmation of successful first stage landing and second engine cutoff, that will wrap up our coverage for today. Be sure to check our social media for confirmation of Starlink deployment, and thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.